May it please the court. Good afternoon. Would you please state your name?
Ryan McCormick.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Yes, M-C-C-O-R-M-I-C-K.
How are you employed, sir?
I'm an associate medical examiner at the Hillsborough County Medical Examiner's Office here in Tampa, Florida.
And what do you do there?
So my job as an associate medical examiner is to perform autopsies and to determine cause and manner of death.
All right. How long have you worked for the Hillsborough County Medical Examiner's Office?
I've worked for Hillsborough County for just over 6 years.
Can you tell the jurors your educational background?
Yes, so I received my undergraduate degree in microbiology from the University of California, Davis. I then attended medical school and received my medical doctorate from Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Afterwards, I went to residency for anatomic and clinical pathology over at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. At the end of my anatomic and clinical pathology residency, I took my board examinations in both anatomic and clinical pathology and passed those. The board exams are really just multi-day exams to show you're competent to go out and practice on your own. At the end of my residency, I then started a one-year fellowship in forensic pathology at the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office in Atlanta, Georgia. And at the end of that 1 year, I then went ahead and I took my board exam in forensic pathology and passed that exam as well.
So are you now board certified in certain areas of pathology?
Yes, I'm board certified in anatomic, clinical, and forensic pathology.
Doctor, how many autopsy examinations have you performed in your career?
I've performed approximately anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200 autopsies.
And have many of those involved gunshot wounds?
Yes.
Do you have an approximate number out of the more than 2,000 autopsies?
I typically do anywhere from 20 to 30 homicides a year, which are typically gunshot wounds. Probably like three quarters of those are gunshot wounds. And then I supervise trainees essentially who are doing autopsies on gunshot wounds. And then suicidal gunshot wounds, I've probably done a few hundred in my career. So I've seen quite a bit. Is
the medical examiner's office here in Hillsborough County, is it related in some fashion as a teaching institution to the University of South Florida's medical school?
Yes.
How so?
So the medical examiner's office here, we teach resident physicians how to perform autopsies. We also teach fellows who have completed their residency how to be forensic pathologists and how to perform the job duties of a medical examiner.
And they get on-the-job training at the medical examiner's office here?
Yes, correct.
Can you tell the jurors, as far as medicine, the area of forensic pathology, what that deals with?
Yes, so forensic pathology is the study of natural disease and trauma and how either the disease or trauma causes or contributes to someone's death.
Doctor, have you testified previous to today as an expert in the area of forensic pathology and medicine?
Yes, I have.
Approximately how many times?
Approximately a dozen times.
In what jurisdictions?
Both here in Hillsborough County and in Fulton County in Georgia.
The term cause of death, what does that term mean?
So the cause of death is defined as the initial disease process or injury process that starts the chain of events that leads to a person's death.
And the term manner of death?
So manner of death is a statistical classification scheme that medical examiners use. It's a medical classification scheme that kind of synthesizes all the data that we have from autopsy, from toxicology testing, from circumstances, and we try to fit deaths into these categories for statistical purposes.
What are the other manners of death other than homicide?
Besides homicide, there are natural manners of death, which are things like cancer or high blood pressure. We have accidental manners of death, which are things like car accidents, drug overdoses. We have suicide as a manner of death, which would be self-inflicted injury that led to a person's death. And then we have an undetermined category where we, after all of our investigation, we can't really determine or place it into one of those categories neatly, so we consider them undetermined.
Okay, so I'm going to draw your attention to this case, a case involving a decedent by the name of Charles Jones. Was Mr. Jones' body transported at some point to the medical examiner's office?
Yes.
Okay. And was there an autopsy performed on his body?
Yes, there was.
All right. And was that by Associate Medical Examiner Dr. Noah Riley?
Yes, correct.
Excuse me, okay. And Dr. Riley, is he an Associate Medical Examiner like you are
Yes, he is.
at the Hillsborough County Medical Examiner's office?
Yes, he is.
All right. And due to his unavailability to come in and testify at this trial, were you assigned by the Chief Medical Examiner, and did you agree to review this case?
Yes, I did.
And I want to talk to you about that, but did you agree to review items in this case to come to your own conclusions as to cause and manner of death?
Yes, I did.
And is that a common practice in forensic pathology and here at the medical examiner's office in Hillsborough County?
Yes, it is.
When fellows that come in from the University of South Florida and they perform autopsies and render cause and manner of death, frequently they will take jobs in other locations throughout the United States.
Yes, that's correct.
And in those situations, normally do you and other doctors who have permanent positions here at the medical examiner's office, do you also substitute testify in those cases?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Is there ultimately, when a autopsy examination is performed, is there ultimately a report of diagnosis and autopsy on that decedent that is generated by the examining doctor?
Yes, there is.
And is the examination of the decedent in the autopsy procedure, is it commonly photographed or documented in a photographic manner by the medical examiner's office?
Yes, throughout the autopsy process, really throughout from the time the body gets to our office to the time we complete the exam, we're doing digital photography.
So in this case, we're dealing with Hillsborough County Medical Examiner Department file number 2405732 involving Charles Jones. That number, that file number, is that unique to him and to his file in your office?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And Dr. Riley did, in fact, generate a diagnosis and autopsy report on Charles Jones?
Yes, he did.
Does that report follow a certain format that is generally followed at the medical examiner's office?
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to review that report?
I did. As part of my review, I reviewed the autopsy report, yes.
Did the autopsy report include anatomical drawings by Dr. Riley where he was describing by drawing these and indicating where injuries occurred?
Are you referring to like the body diagram?
The body diagrams, yes.
Yes. So the case file did have the body diagrams within them. Yes.
And did you review all of the photographs that were taken during the autopsy procedure in this case?
Yes, I did.
When the body is brought into the medical examiner's office, is it prepped in some form or fashion for autopsy?
Yes, we initially prep the body when it comes in. Before we unzip the body, we will actually perform an X-ray just to get an idea of what's inside prior to opening. Once we open it, we then take photos of the decedent, how they are. And then from there, we continue to process by undressing the body, removing any kind of, sometimes we, at scenes for homicides, we'll bag hands to preserve evidence. So we'll remove those bags and we'll photograph the hands as they are. We'll take fingernail clippings, we'll take head hair to preserve for evidence possibly in the future. And then we will usually remove him from the body bag, usually remove the person from the body bag and re-X-ray them prior to starting our external examination.
Is the body washed in its preparation process?
It is eventually, but typically what will happen is we'll do what we call the external examination first. So we'll go through and look head to toe and pretty much perform a physical exam documenting natural disease findings, trauma, physical identifying features. And then once we've significantly done that and photographed those things, then we would wash the body.
Okay. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So in the that external examination, would you document things such as tattoos and scars, things like that, surgical scars?
Yes.
And would you make observations of any external injuries, such as a gunshot wound that may have an external component?
Yes.
Is the body weighed and measured?
Yes, it is.
In this case, do you recall what Mr. Jones' height and weight were at autopsy?
He was 6'2" and 135 pounds.
Okay. Does the file, the medical examiner's file, also contain a death investigator report of scene investigation?
If there's a scene response, then yes, it will have a scene report or some kind of documentation of the scene findings.
In this case, was there a death investigator report of scene investigation?
Yes, there was.
And did you review that?
I did, yes.
So one of the forensic investigators with your office responded to this scene?
Yes, that's correct.
And when the body is transported from the scene, is the body typically placed on a sterile cloth or blanket of some type?
So typically, when the body is examined at the scene, it is placed on a brand new kind of white blanket just to preserve any kind of evidence that may fall off the body while they're examining it on scene. And then they'll take the sheet with the body and put it in a brand new body bag and seal the body bag for transport to our office.
Okay. And there's some agency that the medical examiner's office contracts with that brings the body to the medical examiner's office from the scene?
Yes, correct.
In this case, when Mr. Jones' body was brought in and he was removed from the body bag, was there some object that was found in the body bag that had come off of the body?
So there was a fragment of a projectile found within the body bag when they initially were processing.
Okay. And was that ultimately collected by Dr. Riley? And I'll get to that in a little bit, but was it ultimately collected and packaged in some way?
Yes.
Okay. Based on your review, Dr. McCormick, have you come to an opinion as to Charles Jones' well, let me rephrase that. Have you come to an opinion as to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to Charles Jones' cause of death?
Yes.
And what is that?
His cause of death is gunshot wounds to the torso.
And have you come to an opinion to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to Charles Jones' manner of death?
Yes.
And what is that?
Homicide.
Now, the external examination that we talked about, was that documented in Dr. Riley's report?
Yes, it was.
And is there an evidence of injury section where wounds to the body may be documented?
Yes.
Now, in this case, did Dr. Riley document several gunshot wounds to Mr. Jones' body?
Yes, he did.
And is there past that, is there an internal examination section of the report?
Yes, there is.
And in the internal exam section of the report, did Dr. Riley document his findings and observations of his internal examination of Mr. Jones' body?
Yes, he did.
Now, would that include examination of things such as body cavities, the head, the neck, the cardiovascular system, the pulmonary system, internal organs such as the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, the lymphatic system, and other systems and sections of the human body?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And is one of those sections referred to as the musculoskeletal section?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. So I want to start under the evidence of injury section of the report dealing with a gunshot wound to the victim's chest. And I'll ask, first of all, did Dr. Riley label that in some form or fashion?
Yes, I believe he did.
Okay. And did he label it as, I believe, wound A?
Yes, I think that's correct.
Okay. And is that label there for any reason other than just documenting and distinguishing that wound from others?
Yeah, I think it's just for ease of understanding which wound he's referring to.
Okay. All right. So these letters, as we walk through this, they're not there sequencing the wounds as they were inflicted in time or anything like that?
Correct. Usually when we label wounds, it doesn't indicate severity or order of injury.
As part of that wound, was there an entrance wound on the upper right chest?
Yes, there was.
And was there any exit wound associated with that gunshot wound?
No, there was not.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, we would tender states 32A as in alpha through triple W, W as in whiskey.
Any objection? Anything more specific? Okay, admitted.
Publishing states 32A, and I'm just looking, you can look over your left shoulder there, Doctor. Do we see the wound on the right side of Mr. Jones' chest?
Yes.
And is it right here where my finger's pointing?
Yes, correct.
Now, we see another wound that I'm going to talk to you about a little bit later, this wound on the upper right arm. Do you believe that these two wounds are associated in some form or fashion?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain to the jury?
So the general, so first off, the wound on the right arm that you see in the exhibit is superficial. It's what we consider a graze wound, and so it doesn't actually enter into the right arm itself. And if you just from this picture can kind of see that it's kind of in a line with the entrance wound on the chest. So my opinion is that it's likely the same projectile or bullet that caused this injury pathway. So it grazes the right arm and then enters the right chest.
Okay. Can you tell us what internal structures in the body that projectile passes through during the infliction of this wound to the right chest?
So the injuries sustained to his chest included pretty much defects or perforations of the lungs, the heart, and the aorta.
Now, there's a documentation about a right second intercostal space where the bullet core and the jacket separated. First of all, the right second intercostal space, is that related to the rib cage?
Yeah, so the intercostal muscles are the muscles between your ribs.
Okay, the muscles between the ribs. So
Yes.
there is musculature there on the rib cage.
Yes, that's correct.
Bullet cores and jackets separating, is that an uncommon event?
It's not common, but we see it.
Okay. See it enough to where you recognize it when you see it?
Yes.
Okay. And the jacket portion of this projectile embeds in pectoral musculature somewhere in the body, is that right?
Yes, so it actually is pretty much gets caught in the right chest muscle, the right pectoral muscle.
And then the core continues to course through the body after that?
Yes, it continues on, and it's found later on the left side of the chest.
Now, you indicated that core passed through, I guess, the upper lobe of the right lung, the aorta, the heart, and I believe you said the lower part of the left lung?
I just said the lungs, but yes, I believe Dr. Riley documented it as the left, or the lower lobe of the left lung.
Okay. Was there also some type of injury to the pericardial sac?
Yes, there would be holes in the pericardial sac. The pericardial sac is pretty much this fibrous tissue or the tissue that surrounds your heart. And in this case, it had defects in it consistent with within the wound path.
And then it ends up in the musculature of the lateral left chest.
Yes.
Let me ask you first of all, would this wound have been fatal?
Yes.
The aorta, for those of us who don't know, what is that structure? What is its function within the human body?
So the aorta is like the main pipe that takes all your blood to all your other organs to every other part of your body. So it comes off of the top of the heart, and it's pretty much responsible for making sure that blood gets everywhere inside of you.
Is it a pretty large artery?
Yes.
Were there associated injuries to this wound, such as hemothorax?
Yes.
And hemothorax, what does that term mean?
Hemothorax, so hemo just means blood, and obviously thorax is chest. So really it's blood within the chest cavities. So you have some really minuscule space between your lung and the inside of your chest wall, and fluids can accumulate there. So there's a buildup of blood in those spaces.
Was there a documented amount of 700 milliliters of liquid and clotted blood in the right pleural cavity?
Yes.
What is the right pleural cavity?
Again, this is the right. The pleural cavity is the space between the lung and the chest wall.
And then there was a left hemothorax consisting of 1,100 milliliters of liquid and clotted blood in the left pleural cavity, so the same area on the left side of the body.
Correct.
And then another 50 milliliters of liquid and clotted blood in the pericardial sac, which you've already told us is a sac that it surrounds the heart.
Yes, correct.
So we're talking about almost 2 liters of blood just in this wound.
Yes.
Is that a significant amount of blood and bleeding?
Yes, that is.
What is the total volume in an average adult male?
The average adult male can have anywhere from 4 to 5 liters of blood.
Was the separated jacket and bullet core, were they recovered?
Yes, they were.
And were they photographed?
Yes, they were.
And were they sealed into appropriately labeled envelopes?
Yes.
So those would have been available for law enforcement to come and pick up?
Yes, so anytime we collect evidence such as bullet fragments, we tend to photograph them with the package that we label, and then we place them inside, seal them, and then we will turn them over to law enforcement at the completion of the autopsy.
So I'm going to publish States 32C, and this is just another view of this wound, this grazing wound to the upper right arm, and then the wound to the upper right chest. So the grazing wound, is that going to affect any structures other than the skin and the subcutaneous tissue underneath the skin?
No.
Okay, so that's just kind of going straight across the skin.
Yes.
All right. And, all right, let me move on then. Oh, with this wound, the way it entered the body and its direction, were you able to determine or, based on your review, the direction of that wound track?
Yes, I was.
And what was the direction of the wound track?
So when we give trajectories, just to understand this, is we don't know what position the person is in when they have these wounds inflicted, right? We move around a lot, we're flexible, and since we can't tell based off the wound track, we have to go by what we call the standard anatomic position. So standard anatomic position is standing upright with your arms extended by your side, your palms forward. So in relation to the standard anatomic position, this bullet path was right to left, front to back, and downwards.
Moving on to a wound that is labeled as B, as in Bravo. Was this a gunshot wound now on the opposite side of the body, the thoracic lower left back?
Yes, this was a gunshot wound to the back,
All right.
on the left side of the back.
Publishing States 32E. Is that wound reflected here in this photograph, at least the external portion of the wound?
Yes.
Okay. And we have these 2 wounds that I'm pointing out on the lower left back. Were both of those gunshot wounds?
Yes, the wounds that are labeled 3 and 4 were both entrance gunshot wounds.
Okay. And one of these is the B wound that we're talking about?
I believe it was number 3 was the B wound.
Okay.
Or what Dr. Riley had distinguished as B.
All right. So the one that is, for lack of a better way of describing it, above the number 4 wound.
Yes.
That is an entrance wound. Is there an exit wound component to that gunshot wound?
No.
Were there any exit wounds in any of these wounds?
No.
So this wound, what part of the body, what anatomic structures did the projectile pass through?
So this wound passes through the left kidney. It passes through the diaphragm, which is your muscle that helps you breathe, and it passes through the left lung.
Okay. Is this a fatal wound?
Yes, it can be.
Now, the diaphragm, is that an important structure as far as its function and it being injured? Does it have an effect on the body when it's injured like this?
Yes, it would compromise to some degree your ability to breathe.
Does the diaphragm, does it assist or does it work with the lungs in breathing?
Yes, so the purpose of the diaphragm is as it's a muscle, and as it contracts and relaxes, it actually allows air to enter your lungs and then pushes air out.
And in this wound, was there a projectile that was recovered?
I believe there were fragments recovered from this within the left pleural cavity.
A deformed jacketed bullet and a bullet core fragment were recovered?
Yes,
Okay.
that sounds correct, yes.
And that would have been in the left pleural cavity, which you've already described, the space between the lung and the chest wall,
Yes, correct.
and the left kidney respectively, I believe. Were those projectiles also appropriately sealed into appropriately labeled envelopes?
Yes, they were.
All right. What was the direction of that wound track?
So again, in relation to standard anatomic position, this wound track traveled from back to front. It traveled, I believe it was from right to left and upward.
All right.
I'm sorry, left to right and upward.
Left to right and
Yes,
upward.
left to right and upward.
So it's on an upward trajectory through
Yes,
the body.
it was pretty steeply upward.
All right. And let's move on to the wound below that, number 4, which is labeled C in the report. Is that also an entrance gunshot wound we're looking at?
Yes, that is.
And is there, well, you've already told us there's no exit wounds in
Yes.
this autopsy. Okay. Did this wound, was the wound track similar to the one in the B wound or the number 3 wound,
Similar.
as far as its direction?
Yes, in terms of directionality, it was the same.
Okay. What internal structures were affected by that wound?
It only struck the left kidney.
So Mr. Jones suffered 2 gunshot wounds to his left kidney.
Yes.
Okay. And what were the projectile or projectiles that caused that wound collected by Dr. Riley?
Yes, there were fragments that were collected by Dr. Riley in that wound path.
And did he follow the same process of placing them into a sealed envelope and marking it appropriately?
Yes.
Okay. With both of these wounds, were there associated bleeding, I guess, or associated wounds?
So yes, with the with gunshot wound labeled number 3 on here or on this this photograph, it probably has some bleeding within that left pleural space. I don't recall him mentioning blood within the abdominal space, but there would be some kind of soft tissue hemorrhage. There was, based off the picture, some hemorrhage around around these injuries.
And you indicated that the wound track or the wound direction in number 4 or label C within the report wound, which is below the number 3 or B, that it had a similar direction.
Yes, it was back to front, left to right, and upwards as well.
Okay. So I want to ask, with these wounds to both the chest, the trajectory of the wound through the chest and the A wound, and then this B and C wound on the victim's back, I want to ask you if those wounds would be consistent with having been caused while the victim was seated in a car by shooters in front of the car while the victim was both turning to avoid the gunfire and then trying to turn his back to the shooters and crawl through the front 2 seats into the back seat.
Yes, they could be consistent with that.
Especially the fact that he would be bent over. Would that, in your opinion, would that account for this upward trajectory, or could it, through his body?
Yes.
Was wound wound labeled C, the second wound to the back that we've talked about, which is number 4 in that photograph, was that a fatal wound?
So it wasn't immediately fatal. There is a lot of variables with that injury. It depends on how much he bleeds from his kidney and how long it would take him to get care. He could survive from that wound, but he could also succumb to it too. It would be really hard to determine.
Okay. These wounds to the back and to the front of Mr. Jones' body, how long would it take after infliction of these wounds, especially if they happen in rapid succession, to cause death?
It would only take seconds with the amount of blood loss that he had or he sustained.
Okay. And could he have lost consciousness in seconds?
Yes.
With these types of wounds, what is the actual, you've talked about gunshot wounds being the cause of death, what is the actual mechanism of death?
So mechanistically, there are two things at play here. One is blood loss. So if you don't have enough blood in your vessels, you can't maintain your blood pressure, and you can't get blood up to your brain or to your heart. And then the fact that the one bullet in his chest passed through his heart muscle, it caused structural damage to the heart, and so you're going to be more prone to having an abnormal heartbeat. So both are, and combine that with the blood loss and him not getting enough blood to his heart, you kind of have both of these mechanisms happening at once.
So I want to walk you around the victim's body with photographs, and I'm going back to 32E. There was another wound here at number 2, and states 32F, just more of a close-up of it, states 32G, more of a close-up. Is that wound something that is consistent with being caused by shrapnel?
Yes, it is.
And were there other wounds on his body that were consistent with having been caused by shrapnel?
Yes, there were.
States 32P is in Peter. This incised wound to the victims, that's his left elbow, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
All right, and this would be the interior or the outside of his arm?
This would be the outside of his arm, yes.
Okay. Is that a wound that is consistent with having been caused by shrapnel?
Yes, it could be consistent with that.
States 32Q, just a close-up of it. States 32S. What are we looking at here, doctor?
This is the this photograph shows the outside of his of Mr. Jones's right ankle,
Okay.
or lower leg.
What kind of wounds are those?
These are what we would consider as abrasions or superficial defects, possible lacerations. They would be consistent with shrapnel as well, or some kind of projectile fragment hitting his body.
32T, just a close-up. Back out. And then above those two wounds, we see this little wound up here. Is that another injury that would be consistent with shrapnel?
Yes.
And that's seen in 32V in close-up. V is in Victor.
Yes.
States 32X. There was an injury to the victim's right hand, right here in the palm side of the hand. What type of injury is that?
This again looks like an abrasion to his hand.
Okay, 32Y. Just a close-up of that. Something else that could have been caused by shrapnel?
Yes.
These shrapnel wounds, would they be consistent with both projectile shrapnel and intermediate barrier shrapnel, such as automotive glass?
Yes, they can be from automotive glass, from the bullet itself or the projectile itself, or even from plastic or any other material.
States 32AA, just a photograph of the item that was located in the sheet within the body bag with the body.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to show you some photographs of Mr. Jones' clothing. 32K is in kilo, double K. Sock from his leg. Would this be consistent with those two abrasions on his lower right ankle? The shrapnel coming through the cloth and causing those injuries?
Yes, so these could be consistent with those injuries.
When a person suffers either shrapnel or gunshot wounds and they're clothed, is it not uncommon to find defects in their clothing?
No, it's not uncommon.
States 32 double B, we see a hole here with the blue background and another one up here. Again, defects in the clothing where the bullet may have passed through the clothing.
Correct.
In the musculoskeletal section of the internal exam, did Dr. Riley notate that he had recovered a projectile from the victim's lower leg?
Yes, correct.
And I think he described it as a remote injury.
Yes, that's correct.
Would that be consistent with a shooting event that had occurred 9 months earlier where something or a projectile had been lodged in the victim's leg and left there?
Yes, there was, from the photographs, there was significant scar tissue around this fragment of projectile, which indicates to us that it's been there for some period of time.
States 32, L is in Lima, L. We see the victim's lower leg having been entered during the autopsy. We see this grayish area here. Is that the projectile?
Yes, correct.
And so that's deep in that muscles of his lower leg. Is that correct?
Yes.
32M is in Mike, double M, and that would be the item there.
Yes, that's correct.
Was that item also collected by Dr. Riley and placed into an envelope that was appropriately labeled?
Yes, it was.
So when we were talking about the appropriate labeling, states 32 double P, as in Paul, we have here an envelope that's labeled right leg, and we have a sticker on here that has the victim's name, the medical examiner's case file number. I can rephrase, Judge.
Thank you.
Is this label that's on the envelope, does it contain the medical examiner's case file number?
Yes, it does.
Does it contain the decedent's name?
Yes, it does.
Does it contain Dr. Riley's name
Yes, it does.
and the date of autopsy?
Yes.
And is it labeled with an agency's name there?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's your office's designation?
Overall, you can answer that one.
Yes, that's our office address and name of our office.
Does the labeling have a place for the doctor to indicate the position of the body that the item was recovered from?
Yes, it does.
And is it indicated on this envelope?
Yes, it is.
And that's from the right leg.
Yes, correct.
And does it indicate whether it's a bullet or a pellet or a jacket or a fragment?
Yes, it indicates that it's a fragment.
States 32Q, double Q, photograph. Now, would this be the fragment from the lower right leg that we were just looking at, the remote injury?
I don't recall. Usually we take a picture with the envelope and the projectile that will indicate what piece went into which envelope. It actually might be.
Actually, the remote injury, I think, is from the left leg. These would have been fragments in the right leg. I guess we were looking at the right leg, those abrasions.
So the initial image you showed with the muscle being incised, that was the left leg. That was the remote injury. There was additional shrapnel that was recovered from the right leg as well, though.
And in this photograph, we do see down here the item that was recovered.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And is that what you were talking about, usually photographed together?
Yes.
Okay. So with the remote gunshot wound to the left leg, we're going to look at that photograph. And there appears to be an item down here. Would that be the item that was recovered?
From the left leg, yes.
Okay. States 32 double V. Once the items are placed into the envelope, is the envelope sealed in some form or fashion?
Yes, it is.
How is it sealed?
We use red evidence tape, and we'll seal along the seams on the back of the envelope, and then we'll sign and date our initials on the back, overlying the red evidence tape.
And this is 32 WW, W is in whiskey. Does that show the evidence tape and Dr. Riley's signature and the date?
Yes.
And is he following your standard operating procedure as far as sealing those envelopes?
Yes.
States 32 double X. Are these envelopes of several areas. Let me rephrase that. Are these envelopes of items that were collected from several areas of the body?
Yes.
And starting in the upper left here, if you could walk us kind of in a circle here, clockwise, and just tell us the areas.
Sure. So we have fragments recovered from the left kidney, a bullet recovered from the left chest wall, a bullet recovered from the body bag, a fragment recovered from the left pleural cavity, a jacket recovered from the right chest, a fragment recovered from the, it says periaortic tissue, and a fragment from the sock.
Okay. And so not only is the area of the body that the item is collected from labeled, but also he's checking off what type of item it is.
Yes, correct.
Whether it's a bullet or a fragment.
Yes, correct.
Or jacketed.
Yes, it could be. I don't know if he actually labeled. He did. Jacket for the right chest, yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you what's been labeled as 32. I believe this is 32A. There's a smaller envelope inside of the bigger envelope, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recognize the envelope?
Yes.
And what is the envelope?
The envelope is a fragment that was collected from the left pleural cavity at the autopsy of Mr. Jones.
Okay. Your Honor, we would tender states 32A.
Any objection? Admitted. Is it, what is it, 32? You said 32A, but I think it's 30. What does it state on there?
I'm sorry, 33A.
Okay. Any
All of
objection
these
to,
are 33.
any objection to 33A? Okay, admitted.
So 33B. The envelope has a smaller envelope. Do you recognize that, Doctor?
Yes.
And what is it?
This is the envelope that was containing the bullet from the left chest wall that was recovered at the autopsy of Mr. Jones.
Your Honor, we would tender states 33B.
Any objection?
No objection.
Admitted.
33C. Do you recognize the smaller package?
Yes. It's the bullet that was recovered from the body bag of Mr. Jones.
And 33D. Do you
Are you
recognize
moving
it?
that into evidence?
I am, Your Honor. Tendering it for admission.
Any objection?
And 33D.
33D is the jacketing that was recovered from the right chest of Mr. Jones.
Any objection?
No objection.
Admitted. All of those. 33A through D.
Move to publish 33D as in Delta. C, moving to publish. And this is the item that came from the body bag,
Yes.
and it's described as a bullet by Dr. Riley.
Yes, correct.
And 33B, publishing from the left chest wall, and it's a bullet, correct?
Yes.
And then just the back of the envelope. The autopsy in this case actually occurred on June 23rd of 2024, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I think I had said the 24th. I think one of these may be dated the 24th. Was Mr. Jones' date of his age documented?
Yes.
What was his age?
I believe he was 26. Do you mind if I refer to the record or to the?
Oh, that's fine if you want, if it will refresh your memory.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 26.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 26.
And states 33A, from the left pleural cavity, a fragment or fragments,
Yes.
and the back. Thank you, doctor. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, cross-examination.
Did you perform the autopsy in this case?
I did not.
Another medical examiner did.
Correct.
All right. And how many gunshot wounds did Mr. Jones have?
In my opinion, he has three gunshot wounds.
All right. And so he passed away as a result of those gunshot wounds.
I'm sorry?
He passed away as a result of the gunshot wounds.
Yes, correct.
That's what the core of your testimony is about today, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. But you're not here to say who shot Mr. Jones?
That's correct.
All right. And so you don't know which person that was involved actually pulled the trigger that the gun that was used to kill Mr. Jones?
Yes, that's beyond the scope of my job. My job is just to determine cause and manner of death.
All right. No further questions.
Okay, thank you. Redirect.
No, Your Honor, he may be released.
Okay, thank you. You're free to
Thank
go.